Welcome back to another episode of the Lucha Review, where we take on the nerdy and dirty and continue our 30 years of summer celebration. In tonight's main event, we take you back to all of the summer jobs you had as a kid. All those ridiculous times that you had to clean garbage off of a table or sweep a child's vomit. There's no one who knows dirty jobs better than Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez in Men at Work. Men at Work, celebrating its 30th anniversary this year on the Lucha Review, one of my favorite underrated comedies. Tag yourself in and let's take on the nerdy and dirty Super Nerdy.
Weekend at Bernie's turned out to be one of Hollywood's most significant comedies, as it took a dead body, made a prop out of it, and used it for a series of gags that we love watching over and over. 1 year later, in 1990, that same formula was applied to Men at Work, a story about two degenerate sanitation workers who discover the body of a murdered city councilman and take it upon themselves to investigate his assassination. Why not just call the police? Well, they feel responsible for the man's death, but let's back up a bit. Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez portray their characters, Carl and James, with the kind of chemistry that real-life brothers possess. Carl and James are close co-workers who share a dream of opening their own surf shop, but they also share a penchant for mischief that often sets them back. While Carl and James entertain themselves with other people's trash, City Councilman Jack Berger risks political suicide when he threatens to expose the illegal disposal of toxic waste because the safety of our beaches is more important than his fat bank account and mayoral aspirations. Just don't ask him to close the beaches on 4th of July. The political suicide becomes a Jeff Epstein suicide when Berger is murdered in the home of his assistant Susan, but not until after Carl shoots him in the ass with a pellet gun. Thankfully, no one saw it, much like how no one saw the assassination, or how one of the assassins could pass for A.C. Slater's older brother, or the odd license plate on the getaway car, or how the getaway car had a steel drum in the trunk. Anyway, Carl and James continue to entertain us with their antics, and just when you think you're watching the next great comic duo, Keith David tags in. David plays Lewis, their boss's surly brother-in-law, who's hired to chaperone the troublesome pair on their route. As Lewis, Keith David effectively upgrades this to a comedy trio, and steals the show with scenes and lines that make this film a cult classic. Even the assassins are fun to watch. They killed a local politician, they're trying to stop Carl and James from exposing the truth, but still, their childish interactions will win you over and make you forget that they're the bad guys in this crazy story. While fun, Men at Work isn't one of the smarter comedies you'll see. For example, every step of the assassination is the exact opposite of discreet. No, seriously, is this their first day on the fucking job? You don't think to close the blinds before the hit, or maybe just knock them out with some chloroform and take them to a more private location? Oh yeah, and then there's this.
You're destroying the environment and you don't even care.
Dude, they just killed a man running for mayor, they're about to kill you, and you're mad at them for destroying the fucking environment? Nonetheless, Men at Work is still a comedy, and even with its flaws, it's still one of my favorites, and I watch it maybe once a year. You could argue that it's a spin-off or a knockoff of Weekend at Bernie's, which we all loved, but I love this movie a tad bit more, and I think it's criminally underrated. Maybe not a champion, but Men at Work is a solid main event for Lucha Review. It's got a great cast, great gags, and just like Spaceballs, it's got quotes that you'll be waiting to use in random conversations with friends or co-workers. The sound of that bell means tonight's main event is over. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week on Lucha Review, where we continue to honor the 30 years of summer.